If you were with me in the last segment, we're back again to Rocket Man. Did you know that last segment was kind of time-consuming in a lot of ways? The other thing was, if you really want the animation to go smoother, you need more rockets, which means more layers and takes more time. And time's a commodity that I'd like to do more in. I'd like to do more stuff in the same amount of time. That's called efficiency. So we're going to do this a little bit differently. We're going to use a tool called the Blend tool to help us out. What do we do first? I want you to grab Rocket Man this time and hold the Alt key down to make a copy, and then the Shift key to drag straight up off the screen, just like that. Alt and Shift got us there. So now we have two copies in the same layer. Select both of them. Come up here to the word Object and go down to, and this is a fun thing if you haven't gotten into it, it's called Blend. Just select Blend Make. As you can see what it's doing, it's making copies, and it's doing it for us automatically, which is great. Got no problem with it helping me out, but I want more. I want the animation to look smoother, and this is where Blend can really help you out. Leave it selected, obviously. Come up to the word Object again, go down to Blend, and open up Blend Options right here. I'll change from Smooth Color into Specified Steps. We only have 3. 2 originals and 3 copies. Tell you what, let's change that to 12. I'll tell you what, no, let's change that to 24. If we're running 12 frames a second, that's going to give us a 2-second launch. Click the preview if you want to see it. And we got a whole lot more rockets, and that's what I want. Click OK. Make sure it's still selected. Go back to the word Object again and go down to Blend and tell the computer you want to expand it. When you expand it, you're saying, I don't want this fake blend thing. I actually want all of those objects. Click Expand. It's no longer a blend thing. It's actually a group, and we need to get it out of the group. So select it again, go back to the word Object, and go to Ungroup. The thing I love about doing video training, if I talk too fast, I don't have to worry about that. You guys can pause me, you can rewind me, you can play it over and over again until you get it, right? So now we got all these little tiny individual rockets here, which is fine. Let's put those back with Undo. I love Undo. Select them all, and let's move them over just a little bit. I guess we don't really have to do this. We could have left them where they were. Let's just move them over a little bit. You'll notice it takes a bit of time to do that because you've got a lot of stuff going on. Let's go into our Layers palette. So open this up. Layer 1. If we open this up, we've got groups. Now here is the problem. You cannot run a flash animation with groups. Those have to be layers. You say, okay, but if we did a blend, they're not layers. And no, they're not. They're a group. But there's a very easy way to do this. Go to Layer 1 and select it. Go up to the little button here, which is Options for Layers, and go down to Release to Layers in Sequence. Watch those group names change to layers. That's all you have to do, but if you don't do it, it won't work. Next step, we're going to go back into File, and go into Save for Web and Devices. Let's change that into Fit on Screen so we can see it. Come back over here and go into GIF and change that to SWIFT. Shockwave file. We will loop it so we can watch the launch over and over again. We're running 12 frames a second, so we got a 2-second launch with 24 frames. Click the button. All right, there we go. Now, you might notice that little artifact up there, the end of the rocket blast at the top. That won't happen when you actually run it. That just seems to happen a lot when you try to test these things out through Illustrator. Not too bad, not too bad. It works a lot better, and actually we did it faster using Blend. So a second way that we can get this to work for us and actually make it with more detail and a little bit of a smoother look to it is by increasing the frames using Blend and doing the work for us. But don't forget, you got to convert those groups into layers or it won't work.